Hey everybody, super excited to have you in this video. We're talking about the magnetic marketing blueprint where we're going to take all of your marketing needs in terms of advertising on social media, YouTube, long form, short form content, whatever it is. This is the blueprint you're going to follow to guarantee the best results and returns to get more leads into your studio and then convert them into high paying memberships. So this is from a free course I used to give out called the Rise Up Accelerator. It's literally one of the lessons from there. If you're interested in the downloadables that were part of this lesson, just go to the link in the description and you'll be able to get that sent to you so you have some of the tangibles that are with the lesson. So I hope you enjoy it. Comment down below if you have any more questions or if you want to see any specific type of content that's related to you and your studio and how I can best help you because I'm here to serve you. Rock and roll. What's going on? Super excited to talk to you about the Blueprint, also known as the Magnetic Marketing Blueprint. This thing is going to change your strategy on social media forever. You're not going to wonder whether your piece of content is going to engage with your ideal client or not. You're going to follow this blueprint. It's going to check off all the key points that your ideal client is attracted to and what they'll pay attention to. And it's going to get you leads. It's going to bring them in. We had a studio use this blueprint along with another guide, which I have attached here about frequency and what to post. And it helped increase their revenue by 72% in less than 30 days. No paid ads. We're pushing these posts. These were all created by the owner and their team, and they followed the blueprint and the guide, and they found success. And I'm going to share that with you today. So make sure you have a pen, paper, something to write with. We're going to get into it. My handwriting's a little sloppy, so pay attention, see what you can do, see what you can write down, and let's get you some more leads. Okay. So the blueprint. Number one, you need a strong hook. A hook is something that's going to captivate your ideal client to pay attention. It's got to grab their attention. It's got to be in their face. They're doom scrolling. Your post might be right before some dog Instagram video. And it's got to be a strong enough hook that when something that's not related to what they're looking at and they go right into your post, it triggers them and it excites them. But here's the real secret sauce to the hook, okay? The first 3 seconds needs to create a 90% retention rate. That means that when your ideal client takes a look at your post, they need to stay on there for 3 seconds in the very beginning. Because if they do, they'll stay through the whole post. And we say 90% because we do know that there's that 10% that is not necessarily in your ideal client focus, which is okay. But if we can create a 90% retention rate in the first 3 seconds and create that tension in between the content so that we create that curiosity in the first 3 seconds, but it doesn't get resolved until the last 3 seconds. This is huge. This is all the difference of keeping your people engaged and paying attention to what you're posting. So your hook needs to grab their attention for at least 3 seconds in the very beginning. It will hold them all the way through so that you could scratch that itch at the very end and they watch that whole piece of content and they know what you're about and what you're offering and what that post is about. So that's your first step, okay? Second is the pain. What is the pain that your ideal client is going through, okay? What have you identified? What is the problem that you solve? What is your ideal client going through today? You have to really think about this and put yourself in their perspective. How is your method, your teaching, your program going to solve your ideal client's problem today? They want results today, which goes into the third point, which is the result, right? Or opportunity. What's the result? Why should I listen to you? You've identified the pain, so then why should I even listen to you? What's the result you're going to bring? How are you going to change my world, right? Not the features of how it works, meaning not the step-by-step process, but what is the result? What is the solution that you're going to bring? If I listen to you, what am I going to get out of it? How am I going to pull something from your piece of content today that's going to get me excited about what you offer and what you bring and what your studio does for people like me? Okay. Number 4 is the story. Okay. The story or the case study if you don't have a story. Okay. And I'm going to put in parentheses emotion, because this is where we trigger the emotion. Okay. Stories create emotion. People love stories. They want to know how it relates to them. They want to hear how it cultivates a relationship with them and what they're going through. And if you have a personal story about how your method solved the problem, the pain, right? The pain that your ideal client is going through, it's going to be way more captivating. If you don't have a story, maybe you're a little newer to the game, you haven't worked with enough clients, pull out a case study, okay? This is what we also call social proof. It creates validity in what you're talking about. It doesn't sound foo-foo. It doesn't sound like you made it up. You have the backing and the proof that shows that what your method does to solve the pain works. And stories create emotion. People don't always remember exactly what you say, but they remember how you make them feel. And if you can create some form of feeling in your content that gets people to understand and relate to what you're posting and how you solve their problems, they're going to stay engaged and they're going to be excited to talk to you. They're going to want to reach out. They're going to want to like the post. They're going to want to comment. So you need to focus on how you create that story, that or find that case study and that emotion. Number 5, this is the framework. Okay. This is a little bit more about the how, right? This is where we talk a little bit about the features, the kind of the steps to get them to that solution, right? And when I say steps, it could be 1, 2, 3. It could be a visual triangle. It could be, it could be, a square with 4 points. Whatever it is, you're explaining a little bit of the framework about how you get to solve your ideal client's problems. Now, here's just fair warning. This is where your content length is going to play a big part. The more things you add to the framework, the longer the post is going to be. I'm not saying you don't want, you can't have a long post, but we're primarily talking about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. If you're looking for more long-form content, YouTube is a great place, but it's not necessary for what we're talking about today. We want something nice and easy and digestible for our ideal client to take away with them. But we also want to break down and kind of explain what's going on, how we solve their problem. Number 6, I'm actually going to move this up a little bit. Okay. Number 6 is going to be the objection. Think about the objections that you have gotten from potential prospects or potential ideal clients and identify those objections in the marketing, right? If you can bring up all the objections that have come up and solve them within the post, guess what's going to happen when they engage? The objections already been solved without even the conversation happening. So it makes the whole sales process a lot smoother, and it almost creates a qualification of your of your client for you without you having to really say anything other than what's through your content. So making sure that we eliminate the myth, any objections that are coming up that are saying, well, this won't work for me because boom, 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 boom. This will work for you. Boom, 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 right? Identifying that objection and eliminating it right away. And the best way to understand objections is having more conversations with your ideal clients, so you know where they're hesitant at, right? Where are they struggling? Where are they feeling like they can't make that next step? If you can identify that in your content, you eliminate that problem, makes it a lot easier to close the deal. Number 7 is recap. Okay. Just recapping everything that you discussed, talking about everything that's been brought up from the very beginning to the end, and having people understand what you're talking about, right? Creating a very cohesive explanation. And then finally, and this is the one thing that most studio owners fail to do, is a CTA, which is call to action. This step is the difference between you posting something that is for marketing versus you posting something just to post something. You need your ideal client to look at your post and take the next step. What is the call to action? DM me if you're interested in our free trial. DM me if you want to get 50% off your membership. Whatever your lead magnet is or whatever you're trying to push out there, you have to tell them to take the step. Don't get stuck in the friend zone. In the friend zone, you're not asking for anything. You're just being polite. You're just being nice. Start asking for something. Have that CTA in place. It's going to change how they perceive the content, and it's going to tell them that they could take an actual step. And the best part is if they engage with your content and you have a CTA on there, your opener to them is, hey, saw that you liked our post. Are you interested in our free trial? Right? You can just bring up the CTA as well. It's not a weird conversation. It's not as if it just came out of the blue. It was in the post. They're aware of it. They know that that's a decision that they can take on their own. So we have our hook, where we need that first 3 seconds to have that 90% retention rate so we can scratch that itch at the very end. We've identified the pain that they're going through that we're going to try to solve now, which is number 3, which is the result and the opportunity. Why should they listen to you? What's the whole point? What's the result that you're going to give them that's going to get them excited to talk to you? We're going to have the story, the case study, the social proof. That story is going to create that emotion that really engages your ideal client to saying, hey, I believe what they're talking about and they're speaking to me. This story resonates with me and who I am. You have the framework that breaks it down in different steps about how you solve their problem. You identify the objections that are being brought up so that they're eliminated in the process. You do a strong recap, literally what I'm doing right now about explaining the blueprint to you, and then having a call to action to have them take a step into the next direction in your funnel. Okay. Now, with studio owners, where they struggle with this really is it's about mindset. It's the mindset that they have when they're making this content. And there are really 3 fears that they go through. And we're going to debunk them here for you. Okay. First fear is failure. What if this post doesn't work? What if no one cares about what I'm posting? What if I don't get any attention from it? Well, what if you just stay consistent for 30 days straight on following this blueprint? I doubt you're going to see failure. You're going to see a lot of returns and responses to this. But if you start off with the mindset of, oh, I don't know if this post is going to work, after you went through this blueprint and everything checks off, that's just your own limiting belief, and that's on you. It's a belief that you have to change within you to understand that this is the course of action you got to take, and you got to put yourself out there. The second fear is judgment. What if people make fun of me? What if I look silly? What if people think that my posts are dumb? Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? you are doing the most admirable thing by helping people. You're trying to change lives. You're trying to save people. We're one of the very few industries in the world that is focused on other people's health, longevity, and well-being. And if anyone's going to judge you for helping people, they're clearly not the people you want to be associated with. You're actually eliminating people that do not belong in your circle, in your environment, your atmosphere. So judgment shouldn't be an issue. Don't be worried. You're gonna get judged no matter what. But if your mission is about helping people and you're putting content out there to serve others, you can't fail, right? Final thing, and this one's a little unique, but it happens a lot, is the fear of success. What if I get my Instagram blows up with so many DMs and I don't know how to respond, handle all these leads that are coming in and booked appointments, blah, 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 blah. This comes down to people who are overthinking way beyond their reach. Just get started with getting through the first step. And as things come, you're going to find solutions to solve and build better systems. It's going to be okay. You want to have that success, but that fear of success happens when there isn't success yet. So don't be afraid of success. Admire it. Be excited for it. And when that time comes where things become so crazy that you're driving in so many leads, you're going to figure it out. You're going to find a way. And if you need help with that, you just join the Rise Up Coalition. We talk about how we build different systems to ensure that we create that great client journey and create that long time value with that client so they stay with us for as long as possible so that they can solve their issues with you. So that's the magnetic marketing blueprint. Very excited for you guys to use this. Make sure you take it, run with it, download the guide that talks about the post frequencies, things to talk about. If you follow through with this and you do this every day, it's impossible for you to not get any leads. Good luck and go save some lives.